What's up, you guys? It's Meech coming back with another just a random video, a random thing I wanted to talk about. Today I want to talk about why RPGs mean so much to me. You know, the impact the RPGs had on me. Um, I guess I need to start back to the beginning when I was about in first, second grade. The first RPG I kind of got into, don't crucify me, was Pokemon. Yes, it's a game that kind of gets you into RPGs in the beginning. It's kind of like your basic, not too much story, not too much this, not too much that. But that was the first game I could kind of really get into that kind of broke me into RPGs a little bit. Now, the game after that I got into was, damn, I can't think of the game now. Golden Sun. That I think was kind of like, okay, there's more to this RPG stuff. I was about in seventh grade when I played it. One of my buddies was like, hey man, this is kind of like Pokemon in a way, kind of like, you choose your attacks and certain things like that, but there's more story to it. And I'm like, oh wow, okay, this is pretty neat. Um, let me find out more. Let me see if there's more games like that. But the game that really kind of broke me into RPGs, they're like, man, I need more games like this, was Final Fantasy 3 or 6, wherever you're from. In America it's released a Final Fantasy 3, but everywhere else it's 6. Even here, technically it is 6, it's just America did some crazy stuff without releasing all the games and stuff like that. So here it's 3, but it's technically 6. But that game did it for me. The story, the everything, just your connection to the characters, it made you want to play through everything. The plot twist for me, I'm 13 at this time, so I had a wild imagination. It was awesome. So like you see characters that you like, characters that you don't like. There was plot twists, there was this and that. And like with that game, it was like, oh man, you had your main villain, which was the Emperor. And seemed like a typical villain. And then he had his little jester, or whatever the hell he was, I don't even remember, which is Kivka. Well, you thought, if this was all under, the general's orders, the emperor's orders of him doing stuff. And then further down the line, you see that Kivka's kind of demented. He's crazy. He's just sick in the head. Like there's one part where he poisons a whole village just to get his point across, and technically to go after somebody in the village. And I'm thinking, this sick bastard, I can't wait to take his ass out. And then later on, there's a general that you play as, which is General Leon, who's also on the same side as Kivka, but he's more of an honorable guy. He's more of a stand-up guy. So you start building an attachment to him. This is other than the main characters, Terra. Everybody who attachment to learning through. This is just a separate guy. Look, oh, he's a stand-up guy. If he was on a different side, it wouldn't be bad. So you're playing as him, and it's like you're playing like, oh, he's a good guy, and then Kivka kills him. You're like, no, why Leon? Why? Oh my God! Like at 13, that was just big. I'm like, I can't believe they killed him. What? Wow. And that was like, just playing through that game, it was like, wow, I need more like this. And I played like through Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy 7, eventually Final Fantasy 10, Rogue Out, just a bunch of different RPGs. And the reason why these games had such a big impact on me is because, I could get lost in the storyline. I could get lost in the world with the characters, And then growing up in New York back, me growing up in New York City, in the Bronx/Harlem, it's, kind of rough area. There's a lot of, drugs and stuff like that. And, stuff going on in school. So coming home from school every day and playing these RPGs kind of took me out took me away from reality. Like I would submerge myself into these worlds, into these characters. I would become these characters in RPGs, and I could forget about anything and everything. If I was having problems at home, stress from school, trying to avoid, um, certain things that were going on. And, just playing those games and just building relationships with the characters and the world, those worlds, it really helped me. And there was certain times I would forget where I was at. Like I would be so into the game, so into the world, that I would totally forget that I'm actually, I forget about real life because I'd play these games for hours upon hours upon hours a day. Final Fantasy VI, and then Chrono Trigger as well. Chrono Trigger, the world was just so vast in Chrono Trigger. I would, I got attached to the frog knight. I forgot his name. Oh man, just those games. And then I'm trying to think of another game that I played that had a really big impact on me. Golden Sun was pretty big. But what other game just had such a big impact? Final Fantasy X. That game as well. That game was like, holy shit! This game is crazy. Like I was playing. What part? Like Seymour. It just I had such a hatred for Seymour because he was fucking crazy. Like just like Kefka in 6. I guess those. He was just crazy. Like when he annihilated Kamari's whole village, just destroyed it. I was pissed with Kamari. I'm like, we gotta kick his ass. We gotta take him out. Fuck that. And I never beat the game at that time because Seymour was just so fucking hard on that mountain. Just him transforming in different forms. But that game was, brought me into it as well. Then there was Dragon Quest VIII. That game was just more phenomenal. There's between the music and the story and the game mechanic. Like RPGs is just so easy for you to just lose yourself and go into those worlds. Just forget about everything. And Arc the Lad. Arc the Lad was another one. The Arc the Lad series. Part 1. When you're looking for your father, and then your village gets destroyed, and just stuff like that. You playing as Arc, just going on that journey is like you become part of him. Like you're essentially taking up the role of Arc. You're Arc. You're the main character in these games. Like whoever you're playing, you're them. So you're seeing the world through their eyes. You're seeing everything how they would see, how, what they would do. And I think that's the art of RPGs. Like, art of the role-playing game. With Art, just seeing everything through his way, because that's one of my favorite RPGs. Everything that he went through, fighting and trying to, save the world, and just certain, plot twists and, dealing with generals and certain generals in the game and things like that. Like man, like how can you not see that? And then like in part 2, Arc the Lad 2, which I think is my favorite throughout the whole series, is like you kind of build an attachment to the main character in part 2, which is Alec, I think. But in the beginning, you see the village get destroyed. You think it's Arc. You're like, no. Like you play it first, like no, that can't be him. But you feel like real good RPG. You feel the emotions of the characters, what they're going through. Like when certain characters that they look up to die or things like that. They're just great. And like I said, like me growing up in New York City, playing those games, they've kept me out of a lot of trouble. They've kept me grounded. They've put me in different worlds. And actually, doing that, like I said, that's why I love RPGs so much today. Like that's why I collect them heavily, because I love going into different worlds. I love seeing games through other people's, eyes and the characters' eyes. Like another game, Ark the Lad Twilight of the Spirits, which is a great RPG as well. There was a conflict between the daemons and the humans. And playing that game, I felt the tension, like, because you played for both sides, because you played for the two main characters. One was half demon and one was full human. What you find out later in the game is that these two, they cross paths and they hate each other. But later on in the game, you find out that they're both half demon, half human. And they're actually brothers. So the mother and they have the same mother and father. Which, boom! Just one took more after the father and one took more after the mother. But they were both pretty strong. And you felt the tension. That game, you felt the tension between the humans and the demons. Like, you could tell that they hated each other. You felt that. And no other game to me, no other game genre to me has done that for me. So, like, I really don't buy games just because, unless they're RPGs. 9 times out of 10. Because just, if I know it's like a good storyline and I can submerge myself in like anywhere from like 30 to like 100 and something hours, why not? Like, art, that's just another art of storytelling for me. I don't know. It's, I think RPGs are a wonderful thing. I know what sucks to me is that a lot of these games, they don't see the light of day in America, because everybody are just, Call of Duty heads and, shooter games, which I have nothing against them. I just hate that a lot of these RPGs, they never see the light of day in America, because, it's not, there is a big, fan base here, but not as big as certain genres. And you just missing out on that. It sucks. Like, I love RPGs so much. I said many times, I took Japanese in high school. I read Japanese decently, but I've been brushing up on my Japanese. I've been working on it because I don't want to miss out on so many different stories and, experiences playing through these games. So I'm actually brushing up on it, learning it all over again. Like, I have a couple books that I have, just brushing up on Japanese, like Adventures in Japan. Actually, I think I have, where is it? I can't find it right now. But a couple of Adventures in Japan books. I'm brushing up on this language so I can experience other stories that people normally wouldn't be able to experience here. Like, my love for RPGs is that deep that I'll go above and beyond. I'm not, brushing up on it because I want to get a job in it or nothing like that. I want to be able to experience that other people might not be able to, and I also want to be able to look into help do fan translations for other people that might not have the time or the patience to actually learn Japanese to be able to play some of these great games, like, there's Terra Enigma, there's the Shining Force Scenario 2 and 3 that never came out here, there's, certain Final Fantasy V never came out here. There's a translation, but then there's like the other Dragon Warriors and stuff like that. And some people don't, they don't want to play the remakes. They want to play the original thing, but they don't have it in English. So it's like, what do I do? I'm kind of stuck. I want to be able to contribute to that. I want to be able to show people that there is a market for this, and I want to be able to help. I guess like there's so many games RPGs that's never seen a release date out of Japan that people will never be able to see, even though you can import them. But a lot of games, they're text heavy. RPGs are text heavy, so if you can't read it, what's the point? And I think me, learning and brushing up on it and being able to have a better understanding, I can help with some of these fan translations and help get some of these games that normally wouldn't come out to the masses, the people that really want to play the games. And that's big for me. Because people that I've seen do it, play certain games that normally, weren't able to play it because of the fan translations, that's big. And if I can contribute in any way to that, why not? That's something that's dear to me. But, I've gone on and on about, RPGs and I guess a little bit of what they mean to me. Like, I could talk for days. But, like I said, they kept me out of trouble. They took me out of my problems when I was having problems, and just, seeing things in another world through another character, seeing what, taking the world of that character, seeing what they're going through, and, just certain things like that. That's why I love them so much. Just the stories, the vast worlds, the adventure, just everything. There was one summer that I just play RPGs all summer, just straight through. But I've been rambling. That's it. That me wrapping this up. Rate, subscribe. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I'll put all those links in the description. But thanks for checking out my video. I'm out. Peace.